Welcome to Business Over Beer, where entrepreneurs, small business owners, and people passionate about what they do bring us their favorite stories and their favorite beer. Hosted by Ben Surratt and Jonathan Kaler, it's time to get down to business and drink some beer.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bob Podcast, Business Over Beer. I am your co-host, Ben Surratt. Alongside me is Jonathan Kaler. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi, Ben. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And by the way, we are the best podcast in the Pacific Northwest.
And apparently soon to be the largest, biggest podcast in the Pacific Northwest.
We will be, guaranteed.
That's what I heard. So
next to Sasquatch Finders and Bigfoot people.
Then it's Business Over Beer.
Yeah. So what is Business Over Beer, Jonathan?
Well, we are here. We're going to talk a little business. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about beer. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that you're going to learn a little bit about both. So we are lucky enough to have a guest with us this week, Jason Knopp. Jason, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You are sure welcome. So the idea is we're going to have each week, you can come, listen to us drink beer and listen to us talk about business. And we ask our guests to bring a beer. And we're going to start there. So, Jason, tell us what beers you brought for us this week.
Yes.
I brought a Bitburger Pilsner from Germany.
Ooh.
It's one of my favorites. And I thought that maybe you guys might like it as well.
There's a very good chance that we will like it.
I think I will like it.
Did you bring it just because it's one of your favorites?
You know, I was in Pullman for a graduation, my wife's cousin over this past weekend, and I hadn't had Bitburger in a while. I just happened to go into the store, and wouldn't you know, they had a 6-pack of Bitburger sitting there. So I grabbed it and meant to drink most of it over the weekend and didn't, so we just kind of lucked out.
And then Ben calls and says, hey, can you come and let me interview you and bring a beer? And you're like,
I got beer.
I think I can do that. Yeah. We're here.
Cheers. Right. It's already open.
Yes. Guys.
All right. A German Pilsner, Bitburger.
Prost. Okay. So immediately, I'm from Wisconsin originally. This tastes like Summerfest. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
This tastes like Summerfest. Have you ever been to Wisconsin and Summerfest?
I've never been to Summerfest. I've been to Wisconsin briefly when I was hopping through there for a football game.
Oh yeah.
So, but I've never been to Summerfest.
It's a blast.
It sounds like it's a blast. I mean, this tastes good, so Summerfest must be great.
It reminds me of that what would be perfect now is a brat.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's very crispy, just like you would expect from a German beer, but light like a Pilsner. Mm-hmm. But it's exactly what you want on a 85-degree Portland late spring day.
It's good, though.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. There's another one I like a little bit better called Koenig Pilsner, and but really close. This is actually one of the more popular exports, I believe, out of Germany as well.
It's got a little skunk to it, though. Is that a farmhouse quality from Germany? I would assume it does have on the
Well, that's
nose.
what I'm saying. It smells like Summerfest.
Yeah. It's got that. It does have that farmhouse kind of quality on the nose a little bit there.
Let's keep drinking this.
So, Jason, we're going to sit here. We'll enjoy our beers. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, just real briefly, about your business and what you do?
Well, I specialize in technology consulting, sales, and proactive IT support services. Basically, the idea behind a proactive support service is that you want better predictability into your technology environment, so that if something fails, you can take care of it more quickly. In a traditional break-fix IT environment where something breaks and you fix it, you still have to diagnose and figure out what the problem is, and can have hours of time, labor into that, and it costs people a lot of money. They tend to have more downtime, and they don't get to focus on what they do best. So proactive services basically gives you the ability to monitor the systems 24/7, make sure they're maintained, properly secured, and when something goes wrong, usually you know about it in advance, and so you kind of take that diagnostic portion out of it and drop give them more uptime and basically hopefully lower the cost of IT as well.
So what size businesses do you currently have? Or does it vary? Is it bigger business, smaller? What are you looking for?
Right now, I'm looking for mainly smaller businesses, about 5 to 20 users or computers, basically.
Okay.
Although I can and will work with larger companies as well. I'm actually working with somebody who's quite larger right now, or at least trying to get that process going forward and strike a deal with them. So, but mainly smaller businesses. I enjoy working with them. At my previous employer, I did a lot of working with companies that had small, really tight budgets, but they had a lot of needs, and usually they were marketing departments inside larger businesses, and they were kind of just left there to kind of rot away and deal with the equipment that they had that was anywhere from 5 to 10 years old. And so I got to the point where I wanted to help people who had smaller budgets maximize what they could get with the amount of money they were given. And so when I started my business, the whole idea was I wanted to lower their cost of IT to something that was reasonable for them, and but maximize that so that they had better uptime and more reliability. Basically, a better total cost of ownership on their equipment.
That is awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about that launch into your own business.
Sure.
So what caused that you to want to go out and be on your own, and what were some of those challenges at startup when you first decided to make that decision? Kind of what brought you to want to make that decision, and then kind of what did you go through as you were trying to get yourself off the ground?
So where I was previously employed, they ended up going out of business and were taken over by another company. And when I was there, I was actually trying to start a managed services practice within that company. But they were so sales focused that they couldn't get past the, well, what are we going to make off this? As opposed to, let's build this good relationship. Let's make sure that this company is really well taken care of. And basically, we'll help them, they'll help us, and we'll build a good environment. What happened is when they went out of business and were taken over, the company that took over for them was really retail focused. And it got to a point where I didn't have the support I needed to go out and build more business-to-business relationships. And they wanted me to start managing a retail store and selling cellular services, which was not my cup of tea. And it just kind of got to a point where I realized that I wasn't going to go anywhere that I wanted to be. And so just kind of out of necessity, I decided, it's time to make the leap and start my own business. And I did, and the challenges were and still are quite large. But luckily, I had a lot of business kind of already lined up and a lot of really good relationships for, anywhere from 10 to 16 plus years of business that I've been working with. And so a lot of those folks just said, well, whatever you're doing, we'll continue to work with you. So for about 2.5 years, I had a lot of just sales business going on and wasn't really able to focus on the service side of things as much. So within the last year and a half, I've been trying to build more of that services business. And so it's definitely been challenging. There's a lot to learn and a lot to do. Having had to leave a lot of relationships behind that I had previously with larger businesses that I did a lot of technical sales and just sales of hardware and software to, I couldn't regain some of those. So that was kind of a problem for me at first because there was a lot of business that I felt that I kind of lost. But it's been a learning experience, and it's been fun, and it's been painful, and I didn't expect it to be easy. So I'm still just kind of one foot in front of the other every day.
Just a lot of Pilsners every night after work, right?
Yeah,
I wish.
Speaking of that, I got mystery beer. So my lovely wife, said, "Oh, you're going to do your Bob podcast? I'm going to pick your beers." But
This could be good.
yeah, exactly. So she laughed when she gave me the bag.
All right, so we're gonna dip into the mystery bag and drink more beer.
All right. While we're waiting, Jonathan will sing us a little tune.
What do you got there?
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Caldera Toasted Coconut Chocolate Porter.
It's a toasted coconut chocolate porter. There, you said I was going to sing you a ditty. I had to sing you a ditty, so there it was.
Okay. I do like Caldera.
Oh, I love Caldera. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I've never had it, so this is.
I've never
the
had
Caldera
this.
IPA is very good.
I'm looking forward to it. This will be the first for me. So
Yeah. All right. We'll post pictures of everything that we drink. I should probably pour our guests first. Ooh,
just don't spill it on the computer.
that would... I'd be dead. Wow, okay.
All right.
Prost!
Cheers once again.
Well,
Yeah, this is a toasted coconut chocolate porter.
It delivers on exactly what it says on the label.
it's delicious.
It's really nice, though. It's easy drinking, 6.2% alcohol, so
Oh, well, that's good.
not gonna crush you. These guys are out of Ashland, Oregon.
Oh wow.
And this is part of the Caldera Kettle Series. I don't know what that means. If anyone from Caldera is listening, maybe you could let us know.
We'll tag him on the podcast.
For sure.
So, Jason, what has been the most exciting part? I mean, besides launching your own business, that's always exciting, but about what you do, what's the most exciting thing that you do? Like, when at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what's the most exciting thing for someone who works in IT?
Yeah.
For me personally, or in business, for me personally, I enjoy being able to have more flexibility as a business owner and take more time with my family whenever possible. So that was a big thing for me, that when I left one company, that I was able to, the efforts that I put in would give me more time with my family. That was really my main goal. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it's your answer. I agree with you. Look, when you work the 9 to 5, like all the way through high school and school, my goal was always to have that 9 to 5.
Oh yeah.
And then when I got it, it's like, this is not what I wanted. I didn't want the 9 to 5. I found out that I wanted maybe the 9 to 2, or I take a day off, or I have more time with my family. 9 to 5 is not 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is 7 o'clock waking up, getting ready. And
7 o'clock? You haven't worked a 9 to 5 job.
I'm serious, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the quality time that you get to spend with your family.
Flexibility.
Yeah.
You can't get that time back. So if you can utilize your time wisely and have more time with your family or friends or whomever, that's really the goal.
So, Jonathan, how was your day today?
Fantastic day here, Ben. Well, it's inspiring to sit here with the both of you. I work a corporate job. I'm a corporate sales manager, so to listen to you guys who are both entrepreneurs that both struck out on your own, I think there's a lot of people who are in my position who have the challenges of the everyday, it's great to hear the goods and the bads of. Because the grass isn't always greener, right? And entrepreneurship and your own business isn't for everybody, because it is a huge risk, especially when you have a family to take care of. So for you, when you launched your business, did you have kids already? Were you married? So talk about kind of weighing that risk. Obviously, that's, when you were talking earlier, I was like, well, it certainly helps to have a pipeline full of business when you launch your business.
Yeah. So, I was married, and I had a 3.5-year-old, a 4-year-old. I can't remember how old she was at the time. About 3.5. And when I started thinking about doing this, I'd actually taken a couple weeks off and just did nothing. At least that was the goal. Do nothing for a couple weeks, clear my head, and talk to my wife and say, look, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think about this? And she said, oh, I think it sounds pretty good, but I'm worried. How are we going to, pay the bills? How are we going to do these things? And I told her, I don't know, but we'll figure it out and cross our fingers and go from there. So I jumped into it, and shortly thereafter, we found out we were going to have another child.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So, side note, prior to that, a week before we found out, my wife ended up down at the Humane Society looking at a dog, of which I didn't want another one because I had lost mine of 13 years, about a year or so before that.
Okay.
And she calls me up. So I'm down here at the Humane Society, and I thought, oh, crap. Great. So I need to go look at this dog. And we ended up getting the dog, and he's a head case. He's got all sorts of allergies and stuff. He's just a really sweet dog, but he's got all kinds of issues. And then a week later, we find out that we're going to have another daughter. And they're best friends now. That's great, except for she's just a wild animal, and he's just kind of a doofus.
So which one?
Let's just clarify.
Which is which?
The daughter is the wild animal. He just referred to his daughter as the wild animal.
Ask my wife; she'll agree. She's crazy. She's a lot of fun, but she keeps us on her toes. I decided to start a business with the blessing of my wife, kind of, and then we get this dog, and then find out we're going to have another child, and within months of starting my business. So it was definitely trial and error through a lot of it, and again, like I said earlier, putting one foot in front of the other and just keep moving forward. Take the hits and just keep moving forward, as Rocky Balboa says.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
get up, Rock.
That's right.
Because Mickey loves you.
That's right.
Yeah. Cheers.
Well, I think we too often, as when we're deciding to take a risk like that, we get stuck in this feeling of permanence. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to make this decision, and I'm stuck in it forever.
Yeah.
But what you probably found is that, you could always go back and get another corporate job.
Perhaps.
But here you are, you're in a position where, I don't have a job. I know what I want to do. I've got good contacts. All the pieces are lined up for me to be successful if I'm willing to put in the work and take in the risk. And if it doesn't work out, there's always a different decision, or there's always something else then that I can potentially do. This isn't necessarily going to make or break me forever. So that's one thing I'm starting to learn in the decision making process, because I get so stuck in making it so big and not being able to answer all of the what ifs.
Yeah.
But you can never answer.
You'll never answer it.
What ifs, right?
Yeah, it's tough to kind of make that decision, because you think, like you said, you think it's going to be, it has to be one way or the other. But I had, prior to this, I had worked myself into a position where I had been working from home anyway for like 12 years. So
oh, wow.
For me, I kind of feel like, well, is there another option? Because if I had to go into an office, I don't know how I would deal with it, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been working from home for 16 plus years now. Most of it was for somebody else. It's definitely would be a tough decision to go back into an office somewhere for somebody else.
Oh, I can't even.
I don't
imagine.
know what I would do.
Yeah.
I remember I was pretty much forced to get into, because I worked for the bank, and my job was, my daughter was born in June of 2008, and I took leave, and I came back to saying, sorry, we no longer are doing loans right now. Your position is no longer needed. Sorry. I'm like, okay, well, I can get another bank job easily.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
No banks. Banks were closing left and right. It was a crazy time. Just a crazy time. But my wife, bless her heart, man, she supported me fiscally and emotionally for the first couple of months before we got our business up and running.
She still supports you emotionally.
Yeah, and fiscally.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything.
But anyways, it was scary. I gotta tell you, it was scary.
Were you scared? Were there moments of fear?
I'm still scared. It's never ending until, I just don't know when, it's a constant state of flux, and everything is never the same.
I heard a really good analogy about business in your own business. It's like a child. You start it, you worry about it all the time. It's all you think about. You never get any sleep. You're always up. You're worried. You got to feed it. Your monetary, you got to feed it, cash. But you're also feeding it, whatever, feeding. And then it grows up a little bit, and it can walk by itself a little bit, but you still have to hold it. You have to lift it, and if it falls down, you got to pick it up. And then your ultimate goal is for it to move out and support itself. Mm-hmm. So as a business owner, I'm waiting for the business to support itself. So we don't have to, we're always going to worry about it and care about it, but we don't have to worry as much. We know it's going to be fine in the real world. You know what I'm saying?
I know what
That's
you're
a good
saying.
analogy.
Yeah. Thank you. I made that up.
You're better with words than I am.
You said you heard it.
Yeah, in my head.
In your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The voices in your head are smarter than you, I think.
That's what they tell me.
Who's they?
Oh, we are Legion.
Uh-oh. All right. It's time now for the final question. And when we have the biggest podcast in the Pacific Northwest, we'll have some fancy music. But
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Ben, ask the final question.
Final question, Jason Knopp. If you had a plane ticket anywhere in the world right now, you had to leave right now, where would it be? And why?
I would go to, so many places. I can't think of just one other than I would go to see friends in Germany. I have a lot of friends in Germany, and I haven't seen them in a number of years, since about 2010. And I would love to go over there, take my kids, and let them meet my friends and their kids.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
You see how we came full circle there?
It did, didn't it?
We actually did
Totally
not
did.
even plan that.
No.
If you
Dude.
recall, we drank, to start the day, we
Yeah.
drank the Bitburger Pilsner out of Germany.
Yeah.
So we came full circle. Well, Jason, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
joining
much.
us.
Yeah.
So this is the Business Over Beer podcast.
Jonathan, where can they find us?
You can find us at www.bizoverbeer.com. That's B-I-Z, overbeer.com. Feel free to email us questions at bizoverbeer@gmail.com. Jason, tell everybody how people can find you if they want to learn more about you and your business.
My company is Knopp Consulting. That's spelled Knopp consulting.com. And you can find me on my website there, or you can reach out to me on Facebook at facebook.com/Knopp Consulting. And hopefully maybe you guys will have me back, and I'll be a little bit better prepared for
we'll have you back.
Yeah,
We will have
all
you
right,
back
good.
for sure.
I'll bring
sure.
beer. I'll bring beer.
Hey, that's all. That's all we can ask. So again, we drank the Bitburger Pilsner from Germany. We enjoyed the toasted coconut chocolate porter from Caldera.
Yeah, that's
And-
that was the mystery beer.
That was the mystery beer. Well, thank you all for listening,
Yeah,
and
thanks for having
Jason,
me.
thanks
Appreciate it.
for coming on.
We'll see you all next time.
See ya.
Business Over Beer reminds you to always drink responsibly. Our theme song is Idiocracy by Christian Leo. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Business Over Beer.